Hey guys, so it's time for another update. As y'all know, March 10th I had to make a big decision, and so let's just start from where we left off last time. I lost a total of 60 pounds. I'm at 60 pounds right now. I did end up gaining some back over the last month, just because the medication I was on got to the point to where it just wasn't working anymore, which is perfectly fine and understandable. So let's see, the decision I was going to have to make was either do surgery, which would have been $25,000, do the shots, weight loss shots, which when you get the max dose is $500 a month if you go through my doctor, or just do nothing and go back to my primary and don't see my weight loss doctor anymore. So the decision that I prayed about this, and I felt like the decision that the Lord was telling me was best was to do the shots and see how they go, because in a couple of months, with me being at the lowest dose, it's $100 a month, and in a couple of months I can go back to the medication, the pill form. So I will be giving myself a shot once a week. So I go back in April, and we'll be doing monthly checks until, like with this shot. I'm still doing my allergy shots. As far as everything else health-wise, I had blood work done when I went to the doctor on March 10th, and my white blood cell count is again 19,000. It's went up 3,000 in a month. They want it to be at 8,000, and then my iron is still severely low, even though I take 4 iron pills a day. So still kind of trying to run tests and see what's going on there, and really no answers as to why it's high and why it's low and why my body is not absorbing what it needs to. But it's all good. And then as far as my mom, she is home. She is not upstairs, but she is home, and she's doing physical therapy and occupational therapy once a week, and the goal is to get her to where she can walk up the steps again. She has been going to church. She uses a walker. So somebody's got to be with her at all times, of course, but she's doing better. She's home, and we are so happy that she's home. My dad's doing better. We're just all doing better. So that's really all the update that I have as far as that goes. But today at work, I had to redo some invoices because of one of the customers, well, a couple of the customers, but as I was sitting there redoing the invoices to make it to where it would be easier for everyone involved, the devil, being a woman in this society, you already feel like you're not good enough, you're not worthy, and all of this, and them are feelings and thoughts that I have dealt with constantly my whole life, especially with the abuse background, and oh, you've been abused, so you're damaged, you're not worth anything, things like that. So I'm sitting here and redoing these invoices, and I know it's not my fault. It's nothing that could have been helped. It's just, it is what it is. And the way we did it, well, the way that I did it initially was harder to keep track. Anywho, I'm not going into detail about it, but the way I had to redo it was to make it easier for everyone involved. So, long story short, as I'm redoing the invoices for these customers, and it's quiet, and we're just, everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing, and working in their own little cubicle and stuff. I went to lunch and I came back and I'm working on the invoices, and I keep hearing in my head that I'm not enough, that I'm not good enough, that this is my fault, that I shouldn't have this job. And I know that none of this is true. If I wasn't qualified, or if I didn't do a good job, they would have fired me a long time ago. But what's interesting is at corporate, we listen to Alexa sometimes, and she's playing her own music, and she's sitting on my desk, but so I can hear her. And then I always have in a headset too. I have in an AirPod in my ear, usually my left ear, so I can answer the phone with my right ear. But anyway, moral of the story, I had in my AirPod, and I really wasn't listening to the music. Like, I could hear it in the background, and I heard Alexa in the background, and everybody was in their own little section doing their own little thing. And as I'm getting these thoughts that you're not good enough, you're not worthy, you don't have a purpose, blah, 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 this song comes on, and I'm not really listening. Like, I can hear it, but I'm not really paying attention to what it's saying because I'm focused on the invoices. And all I hear was, "You are enough. God gave you enough." And then I hit replay on the song. I asked Siri to replay the song, and the beginning of it says that you may not have been made by a fashion designer, but you are enough. Anyway, so I look at the title of the song, because I know it's in my playlist. I play my playlist every day, all throughout the day and throughout the week. I never start it at the beginning. I just keep it going, even in my car. And I look at the title, and the name of it is Enough. And so it just kind of was a reassurance from God that I may have thought, or the devil may have tried to tell me I'm not enough. I mean, I'm redoing invoices. Like, what does that have to do with me being enough or worthy, you know? But in our life, like, what you're doing presently always, well, most of the time, can bring back things that happened in the past, or can trigger things. And I hate to use triggers, but that word, but it was just the fact that I had to redo something that I had already done. In my mind, as far as in childcare, when I was in childcare, if I had to redo my lesson plans, it's because I did it wrong. And then I would always get in trouble for it. But, so it was kind of like a trigger, per se. I had to redo something. So in my mind, the devil's telling me, hey, you're not good enough for this. You did it wrong. You're having to redo it all. You're going to get in trouble, because that's what happened in the past. And then from there, I could hear it go, like I could just see it going from that to, well, you know, you were abused, so you're not worth anything anyway. You know, just whatever. And it's a cycle. It keeps going like that. And it's kind of hard to explain, but that's just how the devil works. I could have took today and redoing the invoices, I could have took that and went down a whole nother cycle, a whole nother hole with the devil, and went home depressed and just hating the world. But that song come on right at the right moment, and it changed my whole perspective that I am enough. You are enough. God made you, you know? So just, I don't know why I said all that, but just kind of like, and I'm still learning. Like, I'm not perfect. I'm not a perfect Christian. Nobody's perfect by any means. And the goal is to live like Jesus would. And just think about it next time. Like, when you're doing something that you've done before, for instance, if I have to redo invoices again, if I get put in that situation again, then I don't have to listen to the devil when he comes up and says, well, you have to redo your invoices like you had to redo your lesson plans. You're not good enough. You don't need to do this job. Yeah, just like you were told when you were abused, you're not good enough. You're not worthy enough. Nobody wants you. Like, it all just leads from one thing to another. It's like you take a step forward. So it's like when something happens like that, then you're taking steps backwards. Like you're opening wounds. Or like it's the little toys that fit inside each other. Like one thing leads to another. Like you open the big one and then there's more in there, and you open the next one and then there's more, and then there's more, until you get to the very smallest one. And then that's like where the problem started, or like where that feeling began. I think this is making more sense in my head, but like I could have took, or like whatever situation you're going through today, whether it's, I don't know, maybe you're a teacher and you had lesson plans that you messed up, but in a previous time in your life when you messed up, you got in trouble for it, and you were told you weren't worthy, you were told you're not good enough and all that. And then that stems from something else, and then that stems from something else. So it's just kind of, just be careful with what you're letting in your mind. The intrusive thoughts can really cause issues. So just be careful. And I'm not perfect at it by any means. I would say that the person in your life that you look up to the most, that you think is like perfect and they can never do wrong and all that, I guarantee you they have to deal with intrusive thoughts. They deal with the devil every day as well as anyone does. Just because, like President Trump, he deals with the devil just like I deal with the devil. Just because he's the president doesn't make him like off limits to the devil. Just because you're a pastor doesn't make you off limits to the devil. Just because you're a worship leader doesn't make you off limits. I know we put people on pedestals based on their title, and that's one reason why I hate titles, but we put people on pedestals based on their title. Oh, well, they're a pastor, or they're a preacher, or they're a worship leader, or they're a deacon, they're the CEO, they're the president, they're the vice president. You look at companies and you're like, oh, well, they're the president of the company and the CEO of the company. I'm just this little bitty person in the company. It doesn't mean anything. I'm not worth anything. But your job, you mean just as much as the president does of the company. I mean just as much in this world as President Trump does. I can't make the decisions he makes. I can't make the laws he makes, the changes he makes, and everything else that he does. But I can make a difference in my community. I still make a difference. I still am important in the world. Just think of all the people that would be like the people that you talk to every day, or the people that you're around every day. How it would affect if you wasn't there? Which I know can be a scary thought, because it can be true, but just think about it. What if, for instance, I wasn't here anymore and I didn't go to work today? What if I didn't show up at work today and somebody else had to redo all the invoices? Yeah, there would be someone else that could redo the invoices because they've been trained and they can do that, but they have another job to do. So for them to have to redo the invoices, that takes them from doing their job. So somebody else has to do that job, and then somebody else has to do that job, and then eventually there's still a job that's not getting done. Like, everybody has a job and a role in in the world, in a company, and in a family, and friends. Like, we all have a job and a role. And I don't know, with all that being said, just remember that you are enough. And if you ever have a chance, go listen to the song. It's called Enough by Anthony Brown. Anyway, I hope you guys have a good day or night whenever you're watching this. Listening to me just ramble as a random thought. But, yeah, just go listen to it and just sit and think and like really meditate on that song, because it means a lot. I mean, if I would have heard that song when I was a teenager or when I was being abused, like, it could have changed my whole life. It could have changed things that I did to cope with the feeling of not being good enough, not being wanted, not being worthy. But I have it in my life now. So anyway, I will come on some other time for another health update when I have one. I do not know when that will be, but I will try to get one soon. You guys have a good night. Thanks.